Here's our video on racial segregation, a social system that provides separate facilities for minority groups. One thing that started racial segregation that is nationwide in the United States are Jim Crow's laws, and these are some of them.
They're mostly toward African Americans and Caucasians, not mostly other races. Education. Separate free schools shall be established for the education of children of African descent and shall be unlawful for any colored student to attend any white school or any white child to attend a colored school.
Another one for education is separate rooms shall be provided for teaching the peoples of African descent when said rooms are also provided, such peoples may not be admitted to the school rooms occupied and used by peoples of Caucasian or other descent. Separate. So basically the first two are saying they wanted to separate the students, and there will be separate schools for the two. Like if you're a black person, then you'd have a separate school from someone who's white.
That they shall provide schools of two kinds, those for white children and those for colored children, so they will actually take care of it.
The schools for white children and the schools for Negro children will be conducted separately. Teaching. Any instructor who shall teach in any school, college, or institution where members of the white and colored race are received and enrolled as pupils for instruction shall be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor, and upon conviction thereof shall be fined in any sum not less than $10 nor more than $50 for each offense.
It's pretty much, I'm guessing it's looked down upon
to teach black and white students in the same school.
Oh, my bad. Okay, textbooks. Books shall not be interchanged between white and colored students. School.
Okay, libraries. The state librarian is directed to fit up and maintain a separate place for the use of colored people may come to the library for the purpose of reading books or periodicals. So basically they want a separate section in the library for black or colored people and a separate section for white.
Okay, so there was this girl. She was
this is someone's personal experience of some of the segregation.
Her name was Julia Cosby, and she was going to a colored school. So they had to use old and torn up books gotten handed down from white students. And they had African American teachers too, and during football games they had different stadiums and different football teams. And when they would be on the same bus, like a public bus, they had to sit in the back in the last two seats, and whenever they did something they weren't supposed to do, they were beaten by the police or they were sent to jail. Some of them were beaten to death. And when they went out to eat they had their own restaurant, which is like a colored restaurant. And if a white person came inside there, they had to leave out of the restaurant. And they also had like different movies. And basically, this is a quote from her. She said, "I didn't try to fight back because I knew what would happen." So they were treated really badly by the police.
People were kind of looked up to as a perfect kind of social person in the sense they would never do wrong. They were looked up to in society, but then black people were seen as people who did crime and were really bad. So basically white people could get away with mistreating black people a lot, and they wouldn't get caught at all, and the black person would generally be blamed if the white person started something. So after the Civil War, millions of African Americans wanted to join the community and be accepted, but many white people, many people were on their side and wanted to accept them and wanted them to be a part of the community. Many people didn't. So many also despised them, and they used ignorance and racial division to separate the races. So it still happens today.
Yeah. After the Civil War, millions of African American people wanted to be welcomed into the community, and despite the fact that many white people were okay with this, there are a lot that despised them and use this ignorance and racial division against the black people. Teachers wouldn't treat black children and white children the same. Black children were often taken out of white classes, and white students would get a higher education and have better materials to use, like textbooks, pencils, erasers, pretty much anything that you need. White children would always have better than black.
Black communities also had a secret way to get their own education that fit their needs. A quote from Susie King, who attended a secret high school in Savannah, Georgia. We went every day about 9 o'clock with our books wrapped in paper to prevent the police or white persons from seeing them. After school, we left the same way we entered, one by one, when we would go to the square about a block from the school and wait for each other.
In current day, rich and middle class black families have been holding their own. That doesn't mean necessarily that they've been getting better, but they haven't been declining. While the share of black people that are living in poverty hasn't declined or increased since the 1960s.
Since the 70s, the media has been giving black people racial labels, especially in shows like Law & Order and CSI, like basically shows that portray what it's like to be in the law and justice system. When dealing with the crime, a lot of people target people of color or minorities first before really even having crucial evidence against them. And they portray that a lot in those kind of shows, labeling the people of color and the minorities as the bad guys, as them and they, while the white people were labeled as the good guy, so it's as the cops.
Directors and writers of books and TV and movies, they use racial stereotypes to make the plot more complex and the story have more suspects.
Okay, studies show that people of color first to be fired and last to be hired, and that budget cuts, downsides, and privatization are disapprovingly hurt the people of color.
In February 1995, the unemployment rate for African Americans was 10.1%, as compared to 4.7% for white Americans. The unemployment rate for adolescents of color is approximately 4 times that of white adolescents.
In America, the majority of unemployed men are black and Latino.
There's evidence that is available, and it suggests that black and Hispanics face higher rejection rates and less favorable conditions in securing mortgages than whites do with similar credit characteristics.
Racism is the main cause for violent and criminal offenses and incidents in the U.S.
College are required by law not to discriminate. However, smaller private schools may be able to consider race more closely, considering each application compared with many larger public schools that have a large influx with applications.
Also, when you look on applications for colleges, they also ask you what race you are. So how is race not a point if they're asking you what race you are?
During Hurricane Katrina, we saw more racism during the evacuation techniques, or lack thereof, for the minority neighborhoods.
The most likely to evacuate first were the people in the upper and middle classes. And being that most of the black people were in the lower class, they were the last to evacuate.
In our nation, income is closely correlated with race. We're done.
Black power!
Oh, let's go.
Really? You had to drink tea once the video started? You are...
Oh, okay.
we'll probably just like...
Okay, Victoria, here you go.
Genetic, okay. That's racist.
And this is in Missouri. Yeah, I know it's racist.
Okay.
That is racist.
Yep.
They don't like their white chocolate chips and dark chocolate chips to mix in a delicious chocolate chip cookie. Because chocolate chip.
What the hell? So.
Everybody hates Chris. Blame.
Should blame. Her. Okay.
Yeah, boy.
Here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, like that.
Boy, my homies.
Victoria, cut it out.
Not from that. I look really dark.
No one will ever see what I'm hearing right now. Now I sound racist.
Now.
Black people. Yeah.
I'm sorry! I didn't pick it up, I swear! Racist. I'm putting that. I think I tapped it and that's what made it stop last time.
You are a moron. Got mad. Would you cut it out so we can finish this? Take 25. Okay. take 26. Or 27.
I didn't do anything. Stop pointing at me. Okay. Can you not stand in a corner?
Let's just call it take 100 and get it over with.
Ready?
Nope. Let me finish.
Wait.
It's there.
Hey there. It's there. You guys are weirdos.
Okay. We do the part. We'll just explain them.
Can you just like go over?
This racial one of the largest supplies coming from the crime show. I'm dealing with crime, people of color, fucking
Okay, child, stop.
It's still going? Seemed like people were targeting the black people? But are you saying that they took actors and made them... No, okay,
Like a black person is always
Go away. Mount Victoria.
I look really cute like that. Look like my grandma. Don't continue. You are denting my hat.
Look at Mia.
No, don't look at me. I have my hat back. Okay, I'm sorry.
60s. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Did you just say white guys? You put white guys in this? Oh, the white guys.
We're done.
Black power. I'm sorry. Okay, we need a pause before Victoria gets mad at us.
Why do you want my hand?
Oh,
You're gonna be famous.